What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Progress Always podcast. We are here to build the fittest leaders, and I have the honor, the pleasure to chat with your boy, my brother, Eryk Anders. What's going on, man?
Living life, trying to make shit happen and, keep it moving.
That's what's up. Speaking of keeping it moving, I feel like this is a good place to start. I'm not going to waste your time reliving your origin story or the glory days of Bama. Like, I feel like every clip I see of interviews that you do, like, have something to do with Roll Tide. And I know that you have one more fight on contract. You're on the record talking about that. You're not going to renew. You're going to retire. From a fighter's mentality standpoint, do you feel like you got one foot out the door, or are you like looking forward to this last one and going all in and ready to make that happen?
No, I'm all in. Even this last one, it didn't go my way. But I prepared for that fight like it was my first fight
Mm-hmm.
in the UFC, I'm getting ready to try to open a gym. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, but man, I put everything on hold to get ready for this gym or to get ready for that fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem doing that. And it's fighting. I don't want to get my ass beat. So I think if I'm like trying to juggle everything, all the eggs break. So
Yeah.
if I just kind of push stuff to the side that I can and do what it takes to prepare for a fight the way I feel like I need to prepare for a fight, then that's what I need to do.
Yeah. Are there, as you're starting to experience business ownership, you know, are there any attributes of your fight game that you're starting to see filter over into business?
Um, I really feel like punching the computer screen a bunch, but because I'm just not like tech savvy, I'm like a hands-on kind of person. So I think when it comes to like deploying curriculum and teaching class and interacting with students, that's no problem for me. Like I'm a people
Mm-hmm.
person, I can talk to anybody, you know. Grew up around everybody, played ball with everybody from like every socioeconomic background, trained with everybody, all that. So it's like not a problem for me to like talk and interact, coach, teach, do those things. But man, sitting in front of a computer for a few hours a day, dude, I just want to like gouge my eyes out. That's like something that I have to learn how to do,
Yeah.
because I feel like there's a lot of people who are really good at one thing, and when it comes to like running a business, they're either really good at like the back room stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then but they're awful with people or teaching, making it easy for everybody to understand, or vice versa. They're like awesome on the mat, or they're like me, they're awful. So
Yeah.
with the computer and the billing and setting stuff up, so. Um, I think kind of understanding like your strengths and weaknesses. Like at
Mm-hmm.
this point, it's just better to get somebody and hire them to work the front desk and who knows how to do all that stuff and they can show you how to do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then cool, okay, I know how to do it, but you're gonna do it and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do what I like doing. So I think um when I first like bought the building and stuff, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just do everything myself. But as I sit in front of that computer, I'm just like, that's not gonna work. It's
That's
not gonna work.
not gonna work.
Everybody's bills gonna be fucked up. Memberships are gonna be messed up. People are gonna be training for free, So uh, yeah, that's
Yeah. No,
probably
I
out of everything, I think
mhm.
that's gonna be the part that I need the most help with.
Yeah. I'm I'm so happy as somebody who tripped over all those landmines to hear you have that level of awareness,
Yeah,
because your mission at this point in uh building this new venture is to serve it in your highest and best capacity, you
yeah,
know. And
yeah.
it, to your point, hiring somebody that will professionalize that front desk client interaction piece component for you, and then you can over time learn yourself into that redundancy that you're talking about, like knowing just enough so it doesn't fall apart if they take vacation or
Yeah.
something like that. That's where you want to be. And you know, I'm the pot talking to the kettle right now. You know, I made the big mistake of just first and foremost like taking on coaches, and I left all that admin and membership bullshit go by the wayside. And dude, it hurt, man. It made already long days that much longer.
Well, that's probably the most important part of the gym is, taking people's payment. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And, signing, like getting them in the door, following up on leads, getting them in the door, getting them to sign up. If they don't sign up, calling them back.
Mm-hmm.
We all kind of know how that process works a little bit, but I think that's like the most important part because you can be a 15-time world champion in jiu-jitsu, but if you're not getting people to sign up and you ain't got
Yep.
nobody in your class, then
Mm-hmm.
it's all for nothing. I honestly I think that being self-aware is like kind of one of my better uh qualities. I've just kind of learned over the years, like, just be honest with yourself, don't lie to yourself. You suck at this. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have to suck forever.
Mm-hmm.
I can for sure learn how to do it, but like I know how I learn, and reading stuff off a computer ain't for me. So I need someone who knows how to do it already, and then
Mm-hmm.
go down the thing
Yep.
like a second grader, and what's this do? Point and click, and you know, and show me how to do it. Because
Yeah.
I think like you don't want to mess people's like memberships up, overcharge them, don't charge them,
Mm-hmm.
because that's gonna piss people off.
Yeah.
Uh, he don't have his stuff together, so
Totally.
that backroom stuff is probably the most important part, I think.
Yeah. Has this always been in the cards for you, man? How long when did you commit to transitioning after 20? Yeah, you and I have never had this conversation, so I'm really curious in your perspective. How do you know that it's time to hang it up as opposed to staying in there for taking one punch too many?
I just think that's like the natural progression for athletes, man. You see guys like Roy Jones Jr., for example. He's for sure top three boxers of all time, but like all people know is like fighting is very much so what have you done for me lately? So you can
Mm-hmm.
have this long history of knocking people out, but then your last three, four fights you get knocked out. That's all people are gonna remember for the most part. So I think that like all athletes do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's only like a few athletes off the top of my head that I can think of that retired on their terms, and that's like Megatron or Barry Sanders, people like that. Um, Fighting isn't like football, for example. Like you just may have like your production may not be as high. You may rush for like 2,000 yards this season, and the next season you only rush for like 5,000. You just kind of like wean yourself out. Fighting, it don't work like that. You look at guys like
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Liddell, who was beating everybody then. They just woke up one day and didn't have a chin, so yeah, I feel good, like, physically and stuff. So I'm 38. Like, what else can I do to fight in this sport? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to win a championship? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are just getting younger, stronger, faster, better. So man, it's just time. 20 fights. Somebody just showed me a stat yesterday. Like since the UFC started, there's been like 1,000 fighters or 800 something fighters on their roster, and only 73 of those people have had 20 or more fights. So I'm already in like top 5% or 10% or whatever
Mm-hmm.
of fighters to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? So I've had a pretty good career. I made some good money. So I don't want to be that guy who fights forever and they keep getting like beat up and like my
Yeah.
body don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I love fighting. I love everything about fighting. I love training. I love getting ready. I love going there and actually performing. But
Mm-hmm.
everybody, athletes have a shelf life. And
Yeah.
again, I said like self-realization and being honest with yourself, I think is one of my better qualities. So like, are
Was
you just
that?
fighting for money or whatever? I can go make money other ways, way
Yeah.
safer, you
Mm-hmm.
know, teaching people.
Was that? I mean, being self-aware is one thing, and then committing to action is another deal. Was that a tough conversation to have with yourself? I mean, somewhere between, I don't know, fight number 14 and making the decision and the announcement, was there like some back and forth in your own mind, like, I could do one more contract, or I can't wait for this shit to be over with? Like, how'd it go for you?
Nah, it ain't like that. But when I got this last contract, I think they wanted a 4 fight deal, and I did the math in my head. I was like, that's 19. I was like, man, just give me one more, give me 5 fights, and let that be that, because I don't know, I like even numbers. So 20 is like 19 is still cool, but 20 just sounds better,
Mm-hmm.
So like, and to be honest, like I don't think it was very hard. And obviously I'm not there yet. After the fight, I might feel differently my next fight. But
Yeah.
with the way football ended, and like, that was somebody else's decision. Someone else said that I wasn't good enough, strong enough, whatever enough to
Mm-hmm.
play in the NFL. Okay. But this is like I get to decide, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But also, look, if I go out there and start this next dude, then they come to me and say, hey, we got some more money for you then. You know what I'm saying? Money talk. I'll sit
Yeah.
down at the table, but I'm not desperate for money. I'm not desperate to fight.
Yeah.
I love it. I enjoy it. I love competing. I think when I'm done fighting, there will, be a piece of me like missing.
Mm-hmm.
I can always do jujitsu or buy a motorcycle or jump out of a plane or something, but at the end of the day, like there will be something that needs to fill that void. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more healthier ways to do it than that.
I agree. I agree. Um, what is it? What's the comparison at the at this stage of your career compared to uh, the end of football? Like, what's the energy like knowing that you're near the finish line here compared to uh, that experience when you had pads?
Well, football, there was a lot of unknown. Am I going to get drafted? Am I going to go to free agency? How long am I going to play? With this, I see the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there. Probably by the end of this year, I'll be done fighting.
Okay.
You know, um, but you know, I'm picking. I get to decide. They let
Mm-hmm.
me because I've done a lot. I took a lot of short notice fights and done a lot for the UFC, and they realized that, so they were like, "Cool, we'll give you 20, and you know, let me go see what's next." So, uh, very contrasting differences. And football, I was like, "Yeah, I want to, but am I gonna?" You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Is there?
MMA, I'm cool. Like if they want to give me more money, I'll keep fighting for sure. If they
Yeah.
don't, you know what I'm saying? There's gonna be no hard feelings either way.
Yeah. Is there a piece of you in reflection, when it didn't work out in Cleveland for you, uh, you hung in there for a little bit and tried to make it work, Arena 2 and all that stuff. Is there a lesson that you took with you from that experience that is putting you more at ease in this transition? Like, I know what it is. I know what it is to hang on for too long, and I don't want to be that dude again or repeat that.
Nah, football, I didn't have no other option. You know what I'm saying? Now I'll put myself in a position. If they want to sign me, cool. Like I will for sure, especially if the money's right. If
Mm-hmm.
not, cool, because I'll have this gym up and running and I'll have income like that.
Yeah.
With football, like that was plan A through Z, Like there was no, what else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like I had a college degree, but there's like a lot of uncertainty in the future. So I was like, let me keep chasing the dragon and see if,
Mm,
I can actually find his tail versus this. Like I'm cool either way. Like especially
yeah.
once this gym gets going and running, and I have
Mm-hmm.
employees and I got members and things like that, and I'm not the one doing everything, and I can still,
Yeah.
live my life and own the gym and train and coach and teach and you
Mm-hmm.
know not be a slave to it. I'm
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. People don't have the context that I have, and being your brother and everything. And I described Gail as our war child. Brian's the intelligent one. And I've always described you, dude, as when people are like, "What's he like?" I'm like, dude, he's intergalactic. I don't think that he lives here with us. And what I mean by that is, as I've observed you, and I don't know if this is your truth or not, but as I've observed you, you've always moved through life with this energy of, I'm not worried about it. Whatever comes will come, and it'll work out. And you've made it work out. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not as if you're just allowing things to happen. You're definitely, your effort and work ethic is noticed. But like, what's your mentality that allows you to at least observedly move through life like still water? Because like even in the way you take your wins and losses, like I don't observe a shift in you whether you win or lose. Like, you're just like, it is what it is. Is that how you honestly feel, or is that just what I'm?
Yeah, nah, like of course, like losing sucks, especially in fighting because you get show money and you get win money.
Mm-hmm,
So you get money to show up. You like let's make math easy. You get $100 to show up. You get another $100 if you win.
mm-hmm,
I'm 9-9 in the UFC, so I've lost half my money in the
mm-hmm,
UFC. You know what I'm saying? I could have made twice as much money as I've actually made. But it's competition. It is what it is.
mm-hmm.
Uh, and especially with this last fight, I thought if I ever got knocked out, I'd be devastated. I thought I'd be like heartbroken, raining, little fucking rain cloud over my head, just fall over. But, but it wasn't like that. I was just like, I really, honestly, I don't feel that bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just because at the point in my career that I'm at, I don't know, but man, I think my personality, like I know that I don't know anything. But the answer is out there. Someone has the answer. Someone has the formula. So I will go figure it out. Like, it was
Mm-hmm.
just an idea. I want to open a gym. I try to go through this avenue. I try to buy somebody else's gym. I try to partner with somebody to buy the gym. And then like I have this idea. This is what I want to do. Okay. No, 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 no. Eventually, yes, it's gonna happen. Eventually, it's just gonna happen. We're gonna push forward and move forward. So, like, I'm not really too hung up on the time it takes to get what I want. I know what I want. Well, I know the direction that I'm trying to go. And whatever, man, we've all been told no before. I'm sure, like when you was in high school, you try to holler at a girl, she told you no. That's fine. What I'm saying? What's your friend talking about? You know what I mean? Or just like,
Yeah.
okay, so okay, it didn't work out, you buying this person's gym. It didn't work out this person partnering you with the gym. Okay, figure it out. And that's
Mm-hmm.
just, that's life. So I don't really take things personal. It's not personal, like I don't really involve myself with people who are like intentionally trying to like sabotage me or
Mm-hmm.
screw me over or whatever. So okay, there's no working out with this person. Let me go talk to this person. Let me go talk to that person, and eventually you'll get to where you're trying to go. Just keep swimming, I guess, is like the best analogy that I could think of.
I see you, Dory. All right.
Yeah, no, the best advice ever, dude. Fuck it, just fucking keep it moving, dude. And but I also think a lot of people like I think failure has killed or being scared to fail has killed more dreams than trying ever has.
Mm.
And then yeah, of course, like you're in uncharted territory. I have no idea what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But you just have to keep, kicking in doors, breaking down walls, and eventually, you know, where
Yeah.
you're trying to get or where you're trying to get is there.
Is that uh gosh, I was telling your story right after your fight, um about that phone call when we were in Hawaii, uh from the cats at
Sure.
yeah, from Shula, and all that shit show that was Ole Miss. And I was like, I honestly don't think that he cares. Like, he just character and integrity are like at the top of your value tree, you know, and if there's any piece of that that is compromised, it's a deal killer immediately. I've never seen you wait for somebody else to um, prove themselves to you twice. You know, like if you're shisty, I only need to see it once, and we're moving on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, if you hang around somebody long enough, they'll reveal their character. And
Mm-hmm.
if you see them do it to somebody else, they're gonna do it to you too. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? It's just a matter of time. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're my brother." I would never. Yeah, you would because under the right circumstances, like you would for sure. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so man, you know, and I've also learned like I don't need a million people. Like when I was younger, I wanted to be liked by everybody. I wanted to hang out with everybody. I wanted to please everybody. But then
Really?
yeah, I just, you know, was always in the mix, so to speak. But as
Mm-hmm.
I got older, I was like, man, I value my time alone so much more. Like I'm at the gym or the house, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, you know, go out too much. I don't need to mingle or talk to nobody. You know, I'm in my lane, cruising, you know, got cruise control on, and, you know, I know where I'm trying to go, and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get there eventually.
Was that fatherhood? Was that maturity? Combination of both? Like when you cross that chasm?
Uh, man, you know, really when I stopped partying so much about 2 years ago,
Oh,
I just
this
realized,
is recent.
I mean, I kind of, but like when you're out like partying and like doing all these things with these people, it's everything's like, yeah, cool, yeah. But then it's like, hey, let's go out. I'm like, nah. You realize that that's the only thing you have in common with somebody or whatever. You know, like I'm trying to go this way. If you want to come with me, cool. You know, there's room in the back. Like, you know, let's go. But like if you're trying to, you know, derail me or like not even like derail me, if you're just trying to like, you know, trying to get me off track, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm trying to make shit happen, make shit shake. You know, I don't have time to. I'm not. I like the older I get, like I understand like why old people are like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to leave my house for anything other than to go to the gym
Right.
or to, you know, go to a function for my kid or whatever. You know,
Right.
so like I'm cool. I'm comfortable with myself. I don't need to like
Mm-hmm.
a bunch. You know, I don't need a million people calling my phone,
Yeah.
ask me what I'm doing this weekend or do I want to go drink or this or that or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, ah, if
Yeah.
it's not conducive to being like better me or competing or, you know, something that I actually care and like, then
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Did you just what was the signal you got to become sober, to get sober?
Well, to be honest, like I was going to court to get custody of my son. And so I was like, okay, I know we're gonna get drug tested. So I was like, you know, chill for 3 months and it got delayed for like another 3 months. And then, you know, 3 months became 9 months. And I just woke up one day and I was like, damn, this is what it's like to have a fully functioning brain and not be hungover or under the influence of something,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And that, like I would, you know, I wouldn't be like I probably like smoke weed and be around my kid, but I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't like, you know, like party around my
Right.
kid. So I'd be like sober for like a weekend or fucking whatever. But I was just like, man, I just feel so much better, so much like I think faster, I train better. I used to always think like just because I show up to practice at 8 o'clock in the morning, regardless if I hadn't even been home yet, or I just went home to grab my stuff because I was out all night, like I was good. But like okay, yeah, you are giving 100%, but you're only giving 100% of like fucking 25% because your body needs to recover, it needs sleep. And I always thought because I don't sleep very much, like I could just go out and do whatever. And well, I'm not gonna be asleep anyways. But the reality is like, yo, if you just like laid on the couch or in the bed and watch TV, like you're off your feet, you're resting, you're recovering. You may not be getting like REM sleep or no shit like that, but you're certainly not out, you know, drinking and partying and, you know, chasing women and stuff, like, you know, so, and then like, you know, I want my, not this last fight, but the two before that, biggest one of my career, got custody of my kid, and I was like, oh, it's not just a coincidence that like the universe is rewarding me with like my kid and winning fights and
Mm-hmm.
getting the gym and stuff. Like, nah, that's you're that's the universe rewarding you for doing what you're supposed to do and living how you're supposed to live, while other people aren't. You're getting ahead of the game.
On the path.
Yeah. So I mean, you call it like, I don't know. I'm not like religious, but
Mm-hmm.
people be like the universe, but the universe is just like a substitute for God or whatever you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
call it. You know
Insert
what I'm
higher
saying?
power here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So whatever. It's just, I think it's not a coincidence. Like once you start acting and living right, like
Mm-hmm.
the rest of your world changes.
Where this brings up an interesting segue. Where does faith fit in your practice? Not religion, but that bigger thing.
Um, I don't know. I just try to do right. You know what I mean? Like live right. You know. Hey, I'm not a saint. You know what I'm saying? I'll have a drink every now and then, but I don't get drunk. I don't get
Mm-hmm.
blackout drunk. I don't be out all night or whatever. There are exceptions like fight night. I'll go. Have a few
Mm-hmm.
after the fight. But just to let off some steam or whatever. But I don't know. I just think that when you do right,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm not religious. Like I don't think that like there's somebody I pray to, but I think something is like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? He doing right. Let's make it a little bit easier for him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he just so happened to like the seas almost part. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, fuck, dude, if I'd have just did this shit the whole time, if I had just did this the whole time, and that's like I don't have any regrets, but if I did, it would be like, yo, I should have just like been in the house
Mm-hmm.
sooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I get my kid earlier. Maybe I win more fights. A lot of my fights they come down to like the ones that I've lost come down to this much margin of error. If I'd have did just a little bit more, I could have finished the takedown. You know, finished the round on top and won that round. Wins the fight. If I'd have did just a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all like a result of like the training room. If I wouldn't have did what I did for a training session, and I'm that much better. I got that much better in that training session, and that accumulates over a fight camp that I could take that into a fight. That you know, maybe the fight didn't even need to go to a decision. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
my reaction time, I'd been that much sharper with my strikes or wrestling or technique or whatever, and I
Mm-hmm.
could have finished the fight sooner. So sometimes I do sit back and think about that, but
Yeah.
I don't really like put
Get bent
too
out of shape,
much
but
time.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Mm-hmm. So here's a question for you, because I know that this conversation is on the back end of an autograph signing. How does your life, your existence, your peace with self in your own observation compare to your teammates that uh, have since left professional football?
I mean, everybody has their own, has to figure everything out for themselves. They can,
Mm-hmm.
talk to people and whatever, but at the end of the day, like people, everybody has to find peace within themselves and their journey and where they're at. And if they're
Mm-hmm.
not, like, it's okay. Like you can, change your trajectory, if
Mm-hmm.
you will. So a lot of the guys, like fortunately, like the two guys I was with today, Javier Arenas and Trent Richardson, have done good with
Mm-hmm.
their money, and they're good raising kids and investing in things and doing stuff like that. So and coaching and fortunately for me, I don't really know too many guys that are like living under a bridge or nothing like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who you didn't see that coming like a
Yeah.
million miles away.
Are
So
are are you a lighthouse at all for guys that are like, I don't know what to do? Do they like reach out to you and like, hey man, like this is where I'm at. How'd you get to where you are? Like, shed some
Um,
light on it for me? Do you
you know,
have those
I,
kind of conversations?
I think guys, especially football players, are like macho men. You know what I mean? So they don't really want to talk about like their darkness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of them reach out and be like, "Hey, man, I think that's awesome. Congratulations on the gym." It's like, "Cool. How are you? You know, are you good?" Like, like for me, like if you're my friend, if you're like a real like all those dudes I play, I was, telling Jane this the other day. Like I got homeboys, and then I got homeboys I play football with.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends, and then I have like damn near brothers. And like, well, this guy's your friend. What do you mean this guy? Like, I'm like, okay, I have not committed any crimes with this person. I haven't bled with this person. I haven't gone through anything with this person.
Right.
I went to a football game with Ali uh, last night. And that's what I was telling her. I was like, man, like I've done like woken up at 6, 5 o'clock in the morning to go do the mat drills. I've been in like clutch situations. I've bled with this guy. I've sweated. I've done so much like stuff with him that like
Mm-hmm.
that bond. It ain't never gonna. Ain't no woman ever gonna come between us. Ain't no money ever gonna come between us. Things like that.
Yeah.
Like it can't be severed. That bond, like, okay, this person is my friend, but I ain't never been through adversity with this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's just like normal life stuff, like whatever. So like I could never like not that I don't want to, but I could never like have that same bond with this person. I'm not even in that point in my life where like just like it's hailing. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I don't have Coach Saban on my ass. I don't have, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, that'd be cool. But like when I spent, the 5 years of, going from boy to man,
Mm-hmm.
with this guy as my roommate. So of course that's gonna be my ace. Like I've,
Yeah.
battled through adversity with him. I've lost games, won a championship with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a few years earlier, we went like 6-7, and like, a lot of character development. You know what I'm saying? As Israel calls it character development. Like I went through like hell and high water with him. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't go through, like, how could I like trust you 100%? How can I?
Yeah.
I don't know who you are when shit gets rough. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, yeah, it's cool. The sun is shining. It's cool. So of course everybody. But then when shit gets hard, motherfucker will fold.
Mm-hmm.
So like I know all these characters. I know who he is as a person. I know him like the back of my hand. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course, that's my ace.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the way you describe those guys is exactly how I describe the cats that I played with and served with. You know, what are the characteristics that and to your point, you can't duplicate that shit, and you can't, nor would you really want to, I don't think, want to relive anything that it took
Yeah, yeah,
to
exactly.
create
That's
that
what I'm
bond in the
saying.
first
Yeah,
place.
yeah. I'm down bad if we doing that. I'm down bad. I'll do everything in my power. I say I'm not religious, but I'll pray to all those motherfuckers. Okay. Prophets included, like please, Buddha, Shiva, fucking
Yeah.
Jehovah, fucking all the motherfuckers,
Yeah.
please,
But
you know.
but you know, great, perfect segue. I know that you read a ton about maybe not necessarily warrior culture specifically, but I know that you study warriors. You know what I mean? That's a lot of the literature that I've seen you picking up and reading. Is there, whether it's the Comanche, the Zulu, the Spartans, those are probably the famous three, the Mongols, is there, are you taking any of that and like weaving it into your game, or does it like just make the behavior of the warrior that you are, does it justify the shit that you put yourself through to stay in the fight game?
Um, I don't know. I think. like those are ancient times, you know what I'm saying? Life ain't like that no more. Like I can't just go march up on somebody else's gym, kill the owner, and it's like now that's my gym. You know what I mean? Like that's what they used to do. They
Right.
used to like, you have a port that I want, or you have natural resources that I want. So I just march up, we go to war, and whoever wins gets, the other shit. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
like that no more. But I do think like uh you should like do something that makes you uncomfortable every
Mm-hmm.
day. Whether that be like an ice plunge or even so much as like making your bed, or sometimes you don't feel like training or you don't feel like doing this or that. And you should do it anyways, because you need to build that part of you, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like regardless of how you feel, what you want to do, you're gonna do what you need to do.
Right.
Um, and I know like the like the Greek, they used to like separate the kids from their parents at like 7 years old, 9 years old, or whatever, and then turn them into warriors and like made them steal food if they wanted to eat, and if they got caught, they got beaten and stuff. Life ain't like that no more.
Right.
Like I tell Israel, I was like, yo, your life is so cush. It is so cush that you have like a huge steak every night. You know what I mean? Like you can't, I can't even be mad that like, you know, I guess I sound old, but like, yeah, y'all just like, and then, like every generation is like a little bit softer than the next
Yeah.
generation. You know what I mean? Until we have a fucking cataclysmic event and
Yeah.
everybody starts killing each other again.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's gonna be like that. So I was like, man, like your life is so cush. How can I like? I'm not even. I shouldn't even be mad at you for not cleaning your room because you've never like been spanked for not cleaning your room. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I like that. That's like because I like wanted that. I wanted his life to be easy. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
do everything I can to make that. But then I think there's like a certain point where it's like, yo, this motherfucker life too fucking. So that he wants a car now. He can drive. He's 16. I was like, you put up 3K. Well, how am I gonna get 3K? Well, man, fuck, man. There's grass to cut. He got a job. Go hustle. You know what I mean? So I think uh, you, I don't know, I kind of wish that it was, life was a little bit rougher
Yeah. Well,
for
the
some people.
outside of sport, what else are you doing to introduce that what we call in next level speak, that intentional adversity? What
Well,
how are you introducing just the concept of it to your
well,
son?
like he wrestles, so he's gotten fucking picked up, slammed, and pinned, and or like last night, he's a sophomore, so he got some reps on varsity, and he got pancaked, he got shook, he missed a tackle, but he did some good things too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so like I think playing sports kind of does that for you, and then it's my job to be like, okay, like that happened in sports. Now this is what it's like in real life. It's not missing a tackle, it's missing a payment
Mm-hmm.
on a car note or a credit card or something. It's like this, like the consequences are different. But
Mm-hmm.
like at the end of the day, like you didn't do what you're supposed to do, so this is now what's gonna happen. You
Right.
know, now you're
Mm-hmm.
paying interest on a credit card or whatever. And I got him a credit card because I want him to, build his credit and be financially responsible and all that good stuff. So, we'll see how much debt he goes into by the time he's 17.
I I totally appreciate your willingness to there's two things when I like think about like the maxims of parenting, the things that are universal regardless of how they're implemented. If you're just a yeller, great. If you're an ass whooper, cool. Neither one is superior to the other, I guess. But being willing to watch your child fail, let them fail, uh, sans anything permanent, and uh, whatever you say you're gonna do, make sure that you're willing to fucking do it. And uh, I watch people and I have conversations with folks all the time where that's not the case, and like their kids ain't so tight.
Well, this is the thing that you can't nerf the world. Like, of course, like in these four walls, like I want everything to be cush, but like the world is like very unforgiving,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, like I tell Israel, like after he loses a wrestling match, he's all upset and shit. And I'm just like, well, you know, that match was like won or lost on Monday. You know what I'm saying? You're over here, you know, trying to cut weight because you want to eat bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of training, you're out there running while everybody else is practicing and shit. And like, that's just a random example. Like,
Yeah.
but so that shit was won or lost on Monday. He's like, oh, and you know what's like mind boggling to me? Like I do all the sports that he does at like the highest level, but I
Uh-huh.
never know what the fuck I'm talking about. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, yo, I was like, yeah, you don't think I know what it feels like to lose in front of people? Fucking, you know, I just got my ass beat on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? I know way more how you feel right now than any one of your friends' parents could ever possibly feel. I promise you that. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I know what training is, looks like. And I know what training to cut weight is, and I know what training to better your skills and technique is, you know? So you're wrong. Or like you know, he's in football season now. He's like, oh, dude, I missed his tackle. I'm like, yeah, you know, you have to like attack the upfield shoulder so that he only has one way to go. And he was like, ah, you don't think I know what I'm talking about? I have a national championship. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I have forgot more football than you will probably ever know. Knock it off. Just listen. And that's another thing. Like I think like, you know what I'm saying, kids need to like kids are like really sensitive these days. Like you can't
Mm,
tell them nothing. Like, yo, I'm not even yelling at you. I'm just telling you. Like I tell him, and I'm like, dude, listen, I'm telling you, but you're gonna have to figure this shit out for yourself. So there's no point in me
yeah.
yelling at you, getting
Mm-hmm.
my blood pressure up, you know, because you don't want to listen. Like, you know,
Yeah.
these are the consequences. This is what's gonna happen. And then he'll come to me like, you know, a week or two later, oh yeah, you know, it's like, oh shit, you know, you think you heard that before? It's like, no, you never said that. I'm like,
Mm. So,
yeah, you know what you know. I said that. You just don't want to tell me you said that. And that's
yeah.
okay. You learned the lesson that I wanted you to learn. So who gets
Where
credit? I don't care.
one of the things it, I don't know how it was for you. I have my own memories of dad. Uh, but one of the things I tell a lot of parents whose kids I work with, you know, uh, one of the things that I thought dad was really good at least with me anyway, uh, was putting other men in front of me that uh, preached the message that he wanted me to get.
Yeah, you know,
I thought he was really self aware in that he's not going to hear this shit from me. So you say
yeah,
it.
that's the method. You know, and I try to do that too because I talk to
Okay.
him blue. I can talk to him blue in the face, and he's like, But then you know, I put like another fighter or like another wrestler or like somebody else other than me. And then
Mm-hmm.
he'll get in the car and like regurgitate with it. I'm just like, motherfucker, why does it sound better coming out of his mouth than mine? I don't understand. But I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. You know, 'cause I remember I used to be like that too. It's like, man, motherfucker don't know what he's talking about. And then I hear it from somebody else. I'm like, Dad, fucking, you know, it's true. He's like, oh, you know, that's the first time you heard it. I was like, it is. He's like, man, just get out of my face. So there you
I,
go. This is this like you know, a repeat, like, you know, it's the same exact, you know, situation and scenario.
you get to live it all over. It's like you living it twice, man.
Well, I already know what's up. So I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna beat my head over the wall. I just, you
Yeah.
know, have, you know, when I'm around one of my teammates, whenever they come to a football game or a wrestling match or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to, I don't like whisper in my friend's ear, but you know, tell them this.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, like it just organically happens. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I tell all the, because the way I coach kids now is in a way totally different capacity than when I was on the sidelines and stuff like that. Um, I tell all the parents, I'm like, depending on where they're at athletically or in their physical development or whatever, I was like, there's going to be a large percentage of our work together where I'm just going to be like putting them on the path, like
Yeah.
there's the training environment is really interesting now where at least out here in Arizona, like kids are doing shit all the time. And I'm like, man, if I put you under this barbell or if I put you through these progressions, we're probably gonna fuck up your training. So, let's dial it back, get hyper specific in a lot of cases. And in some instances, depending on like where they're at in the headspace, dude, I'll spend a whole session just like getting their mind right.
Yeah. But
It's like, why do you have that? Why do you tell yourself that story? Why are you hung up on what the other guy's doing? Like, it's time that you step into your own power, stay inside yourself and run your own race, and focus on the variables that you control. And that list is exponentially shorter than all the other bullshit that you're worried about.
I think I was listening to a park podcast. I think his name is Jeff Teague. Uh, he's a basketball player. This was like basketball specific. And he was like, kids don't ball no more. All they do is work out with trainers.
Mm-hmm.
But you like, okay, yeah, you're learning how to play basketball, but you're not learning how to play basketball. You're learning how to dribble, you're learning how to shoot, but
Mm-hmm.
when and timing and things like that is that, man, kids aren't just going out and playing ball. And I think that's where you like discover yourself when you're on like, dude, the locker room is the most hostile environment on planet Earth. You cannot be soft in the
Mm-hmm.
locker room.
Yep.
If you show any weakness in there, your day is just got really long, you know? So, but like I think like when I was a kid, like I'd be out in the backyard or even in the street playing football or basketball with the kids from the neighborhood. And everybody, I've heard the most unimaginable things about my mom, about my dad, about anything personal that you could possibly say. I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. But that kind of like, the world wasn't nerfed for me. Like I was outside, I was, with all the other kids. And then, I started doing it too, like talking shit. And now, talking shit is my love language. If I'm not, talking shit to you, I probably don't fuck with you. You know what I mean? Like, and
Dude,
I'm not like talking about being disrespectful, like calling you a bitch or nothing, but
right.
like just, casting a little joke,
Oh no,
saying
man.
saying that.
Tristan came in the kitchen the other day. He's like, Dad, I got a new roast. And he threw it out there. I was like, don't do that in front of your Uncle Eryk.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Don't do it.
No, but I just, obviously the world is changing. Like kids ain't outside like that no more. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, I think that's where you develop like thick skin and
Mm-hmm.
how to give it back and not just take it. And like, there are plenty of times, somebody would start crying and take their ball and go home type shit.
Yeah.
But after a while, everybody's kind of get used to it, and that's just what it is.
It's part of the deal, man. That's where you develop resilience. That's where figure your shit out. What's for me and what isn't. And
Yeah,
like that. Uh, I don't feel it's fair in the long term to rob your kids of that discovery. Like there's a difference between being bullied incessantly, and then you step in compared to you just had a bad day and that dude, said some shit you didn't
yeah.
like. There's a difference.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, I think like like a bigger kid, like picking on a little kid just because he's a little kid, like okay, that's one thing. But
Mm-hmm.
then somebody talking about your Alabama shirt because they're an Auburn fan, like fucking don't even come to me with no bullshit like that ever, ever again in your life. Like you
Yeah.
think that's the worst thing you're ever gonna hear?
Mm-hmm. Wait till
Is
you
the
hear the M bomb.
guy?
Wait till you hear the M bomb for the first time out of pocket. Like,
Yeah, I was like, bro, come on.
yeah,
And that
yeah.
like that, that like that specific example never happened. Like Israel's always been crazy. He's a lot like me, dude. He's not gonna come home and like complain or whatever. He gonna wear it on his sleeves. But now he's getting older. Like
Mm-hmm.
like he sees Like I don't know, he used to have like these buck teeth and he used to be chubby, and now he's like, yeah, when I was, 10 years old, this girl called me this cartoon character, and I just, shit on my somebody like, ruined my day, and I was like, yeah. But yeah, it's funny, like, obviously the older they get, the more they learn to like express themselves and like say how they feel and whatever.
Hmm.
So now I think at this age, like he's been in the locker room enough to like, okay, my
Yeah.
kids are gonna talk shit and that's just the way it is. So now, and I told him, I was like, bro, if you laugh and you call your own bullshit, can't nobody say shit to you.
Right. Right.
Like, ah, shit, I got fucking whatever. I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
dude, just fucking do that, and then can't nobody. They'll laugh with you instead of at you. But if you let
Right.
another motherfucker get caught at first, then you're done. Hey, your day over with.
What what do you look forward to most in this season of your life, man? Is it the what I would assume is the obvious, getting all this quality time with Israel? Is it, like reminiscing on the career that you've had? And I don't know if people really appreciate your your bounce back from football into fighting.
Yeah,
That window of your life was like, it was fucking rough, dude. And
yeah,
I'll be completely honest with you, dog. From like thousands of miles away, just getting the cliff notes. That shit was hard to fucking watch sometimes, dude.
yeah. It
Like,
sucked, but like also like I didn't realize what was happening. Like I was self-destructing. You know
hmm,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and I read a book called War, and it's this guy, the guy who wrote The Perfect Storm. He followed this platoon in Afghanistan. He followed them, and then he kept up with them after they got out of the service.
Did
And
they
then
just
like,
make? Is this the one that just became a movie?
I don't know. I
War.
don't think so. I don't know. The book
Oh,
is called War.
the movie's
Like,
called War. So, and it's about
uh,
guys in Afghanistan too. So,
yeah, maybe. So like
okay.
he goes through this whole thing and like talks about their battles and all the conflicts that they were in while they were in Afghanistan, and none of them got in trouble. They were all like fucking perfect soldiers. But then when they got out, they went from like the super regimented life. I have to be here at this time. I have to do this. I have to do boom, 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 boom. And then they get out of the military, and it's like they're living as a civilian, and they have nothing. Civilians don't live like that.
Mm-hmm.
It like drives me crazy to this day. Like I've never served a day in my life, but like mom was in she kind of instilled those same things in us, like being on time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm on time, and on time for me is like 10 minutes early.
Mm-hmm.
So if practice starts at 9:30, motherfucker, you're on the mat ready to go at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it just fucking still to this day, like a nuclear bomb goes off in my head when I see people walking in the door like 9:30, 9:35, 9:40. And when I used to run practice, I'm like, bro, if you're not on the fucking mat at 9:30 ready to go, you're done. You're not coming to my practice. You can go fuck off like a jellyfish in the corner for all I give a fuck. But you're not coming to my practice. And guess what? Motherfuckers started showing up on time and being
Mm-hmm.
ready to go at 9:30. Um, so like, just shit like that just like infuriates me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know where we was going with that conversation, but
So what are you looking forward to most in this season of your life?
yeah, of course, like, my kid's getting older, he's gonna get a car here pretty soon, so I probably won't never see him again after he gets the car, so he's always gonna be somewhere else. And that's cool. Like I want him to have a social life, he should. But I don't know. I just look forward to the next like adventure, the next like starting this gym. I think it's gonna be really cool. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out as I'm
Mm-hmm.
going. So it's cool. I'm doing a lot of the work, the
Sweat,
renovations myself. Yeah,
putting
so
in
I'm
that
usually
sweat
doing.
equity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that, getting it up and going. I'm gonna, enjoy watching it grow and nurture it. Like, that gym is gonna be my child, my baby.
Yeah.
So, and then once I get to a point where I don't have to be there so much no more, I'll see what's next after that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think um, in life you have to like constantly keep evolving and moving forward. Because if you just stay stagnant, like you're not growing or doing anything, that's what people are like, oh, I hate my life. It's boring. It's like, yeah, because you're not stimulating yourself with anything. Like you
Yeah.
just wake up and you go to work for somebody
Mm-hmm.
else, or you know, and do the 9 to 5. Like
Yeah.
I like my routine and my regimen, but like within that routine and regimen, there's something new every day. Like when I
Yeah.
go train, like I train every day, 9:30 to 11, but like there's different conversations, or like somebody else comes in from another gym or whatever, like there's a new technique or whatever. So within that 9:30 to 11 that I do every single day, there's always nuances
Mm-hmm.
within, you know what I mean? So I'm in the
Oh
same
yeah.
place, but like things are different every day. It's not the same thing over and over and over
Right.
and over again. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what people are missing from their life is like stimulation.
Mm-hmm.
You get in a routine and you just start punching the clock and pushing, typing on the thing all day, the keyboard, and you wonder why you're, not happy with your life or
Yeah.
whatever.
So
Duh. You're not
so you
supposed to do that.
so you've got that novelty baked in, that something new that is part of every day. What else is in your routine that um uh aside from the fight related stuff, what else is in your routine that keeps you tight, keeps you stimulated?
Uh, you know, I started reading. Um, Fuck, I can't remember the name of the book. Well, I'm finishing up the What Would the Rockefellers Do, because it's a really good book about how people invest their money, and how rich people stay rich and why poor people don't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a really eye-opening book. And what the fuck is that other book? You just picked it up. Five Ways
Oh,
to
the hold on. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
Yeah. So I got like, another chapter left in that
The five
Rockefeller
the
book.
five types of wealth.
Yeah, five types of wealth. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm on right now, is like how to make my money, make money. And
Mm-hmm.
because I like again, like I don't know anything about, or I didn't before I started like, investing in real estate and stuff like that. I had no idea, but somebody put me on game and I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of ran with it. So, okay, and now how do I do this? And, how do rich people know about these, tax brackets and tax breaks and cuts and things like that, and nobody else knows? Or,
Yeah.
how are people like sheltering their money through LLCs and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning how to, not pay so much in tax, and
Mm-hmm.
hide my money, and trust and things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm, just. I probably learned more about like real things, like real life, uh, in the last, 4 or 5 years than I ever did in all of school and college combined. Like I didn't learn shit about the real world
Yeah.
other than like, are you capable of passing a test? Like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, so like I think, reading is probably the biggest, addition to my routine. I get
Mm-hmm.
up every morning, I cold plunge, read a little bit, um, walk the dog. You know what I'm saying?
Apache.
Like I have my routine.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? And dude,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like OCD low key. Like if I miss something or
Yeah.
whatever, like I just like I'm like, oh, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also like what helps, people always bitch like, oh, there's not enough time in the day. Yes, there is. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You just have to either wake up earlier or go to sleep earlier. And
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be shocked at how much you can get done if you just wake up an hour earlier
Yeah.
or an hour and a half earlier. Yeah. I even
Mm-hmm.
make breakfast, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's the same shit, bacon and eggs, but
Right.
you
That's your
know,
routine though.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So hey man, that's That's a lot of wisdom right there, man. I really appreciate you making the time. I know you're busy. You got a lot going on. Where can the Next Level Progress Always community find you, follow you, and celebrate you, man? I mean, you got a lot of big shit going on. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all can get at the gym socials. Your boy YABOI, not Y. Yeah, boy. Fitness Academy. I'm posting like videos on the stories every day about the progression of the gym and like the new stuff that we're putting in there and doing stuff like that. So I think it's awesome. Like social media lets you do that because you can
Mm-hmm.
like even for me like I'll be able to like go back and see what it was and what it's eventually going to be when we
Yeah.
get there. So I think it's a dope little journey to follow, and then obviously we'll have like classes and things on there and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's what's up. I'll make sure all that gets in the show notes, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
For everybody out there listening, if you want to be the fittest leader, go check out the nextlevelvillage.com. So where we can support you with integrity, courage, and ownership. And until next time, progress always.